The European Union has unveiled a defence roadmap, preparing the bloc for possible war with Russia in 5 years' time. The plan comes after the bloc reported drones hovering over several European countries. They've accused Russia of a so-called hybrid attack, eyeing the creation of a drone wall as part of its military plan. And for more, Will Denselow is covering this story for CNA live from Brussels. Will, can you tell us more about this new roadmap and in particular, the bloc's timeline for its so-called drone wall?
Absolutely. This has been a project in the works for several months now, and this has been an opportunity for the European Commission to identify areas of capability gaps as they see it and how to fill those by the end of the decade. Now, looking at where those buckets really, when it comes to those gaps are, well, they come into 4 flagships, as the Commission has announced. First, the Drone Defence Initiative, the one that you mentioned, the Eastern Flank Watch, so extra protection along the borders of Russia and its ally Belarus, the Space Shield and the European Air Shield. Now, when it comes to the timings, the aim is to have this total readiness in place by 2030, as indeed the name suggests. But within the next 5 years, a few other key goals. By next year, they want to see the Ukraine Drone Alliance come into effect. When it comes to the drone wall, well, they're hoping that this is operational by the end of 2027. When it comes to making this goal a reality, the European Commission says they want to have annual check-ins to make sure that member states are hitting their targets and indeed progress is being made. Kaja Kallas, the EU's top diplomat, warns that Russia might not be in a position to attack wider Europe at the moment, but that could certainly change in the years ahead. That is why the European Commission says urgent action is needed in its defence capabilities.
Will, how exactly does the EU plan to fund such an extensive defence project?
Absolutely. It's incredibly ambitious, and with that level of ambition, plenty of funding is, of course, required. The EU has provided some signs of how exactly this programme will be funded. It's already announced a huge financial lever to the tune of roughly $900 billion. There are several mechanisms within that to help EU member states hit these targets. One such a lever is the SAFE programme, essentially providing loans for member states, really trying to figure out how member states can increase their annual budget on GDP. This is all part of the wider push from NATO allies that have already pledged to boost defence spending from the previous benchmark of 2% annual GDP spending to 5% in the future. Significant to note, though, that it will be member states in the driving seat. The European Commission says that its role is to be a facilitator to make sure there's not overlap between other member states and with NATO, but to provide member states with the capacity to do what they need to protect their own citizens and as part of the wider European Union as well.
Will, thank you so much for that report. That was Will Denselow live in Brussels.